Silver Collective, I was getting some images of oranges and Fruit Loops, as in Fruit Loops cereal. So I don't know if you've been having some sweet things in your life lately, or perhaps those are specific confirmations for some people listening. But I was also seeing Toucan Sam. Maybe this is themes of childhood, of blessings and belongings and fond memories. I wasn't getting a whole lot when I dug in beforehand to see what messages would be here for this collective. So we are going to find out together today. It's been a few days since I've done some collective readings for you guys. There's been a lot happening in my life, so I bet there's been a lot happening in your lives as well. Yeah, so let's see here what messages Spirit has for you. I am seeing 444. So the fact that's coming up right away means you are divinely protected. You're highly protected at this time. You are going through some riffraff. You're going through some difficult phases in your life right now. I'm starting to feel a little bit of a heavier energy with this. I feel like you've been wading through some memories. That phrasing, wading through memories. And I acknowledge this is also I hear double entendre, but what I mean to say is a homophone with waiting through memories. So there's this feeling of like you're wading through these old memories, like kind of swimming or walking through them. I'm seeing someone walk through water with the old memories being heavy, kind of like in the river Styx. But also it's like you're in this holding period. You're being asked to go back in your imagination and dig deep and remember a time where these memories meant something to you. And remember the version of yourself that you were in these memories. These memories aren't you, but these memories define you, right? Because these are your life experiences. So Spirit is asking you to be so selective right now about what defines your life experience. Because Spirit is saying you actually have the power to create your own reality through your chosen remembrance of things that have happened to you in the past. And there is this like sneaky, hopeful energy I'm getting. And it's like Spirit says you can fixate on all the people that did you wrong, all the problems you had, all the negative things that happened, or hear me out, you can fixate on all the people that blessed you, that loved you, that gave you free things, that did stuff for you. And I'm seeing 222 on my timer, which I always associate with love, either romantic or familiar or friend love. But yeah, like you can rewrite your narrative because Spirit is really pushing you right now to rewrite your narrative, collective. I wonder if maybe that's going to be the titling of this video, is you're being asked to rewrite your childhood narrative. You're being asked to rewrite yourself as the main character, because I'm getting for some of you, you are not the main character in the way that you wanted to be or you needed to be. It's almost like you were a supporting role in your own life. And Silver Collective, you were such a mirror. I remember some of the first channelings that we had was that you often mirrored back to other people what was within themselves. And so other people often looked to you to see this idealized version of themselves, forgetting that they're seeing themselves through your eyes. And your eyes are so silver and so pure. Your energy is so golden and holy in this beautiful, lustrous way that they can get vain. They can get this big head, Silver Collective, because they think they're you, but they're not you. So again, if you had like overbearing parents, or if this is a collective that had other people's trauma being dumped on them, it's like a boohoo, woe is me sort of attitude. You're being asked to let go of that now. You're being asked to let go of some very painful things right now. You're being asked to take people down off of pedestals who no longer deserve to be there. They no longer belong there. So if you've written people into your life as saviors and heroes, you need to take them down off that pedestal right now, because you're the hero of your life. You need to stop diluting your power through other people's lenses and other people's eyes. You need to rise up and claim that within yourself. Yes, there have been bad things that have happened to you, because I'm hearing some of you thinking, well, like I've had bad things happen too, so does that mean I'm also the villain? Well, yes and no. It depends. It's more complicated than just saying you are a villain or you're not a villain, or you are a hero or you're not a hero. But for the purposes of positivity, what you need to start doing is seeing yourself as a hero, because you've seen yourself as a villain so much. You have seen yourself as this person that doesn't deserve nice things, that doesn't get the best seat at the front of the house I'm getting, that doesn't deserve the nice things and the luxury bags, designer purses, or the shoes, the Chanel, the like. Basically, I think what this is suggesting, there's a lifestyle that you wanted for yourself at one point in time but you perceived it as too luxurious or something that other people would hate you for. Just take that how it resonates. So you denied it and you decided that's not going to be your life story. Like you were going to be humble, quote unquote. And I'm hearing the world tried to humble you so hard, collective. The world tried so crazy hard to humble you because you shone so brightly and because you were shining so brightly. It irritated the world, collective, and they had to put you beneath them. Like I'm seeing that mirror getting stomped all over again. These people that are irritated that you reflect back who they really are. So when people were, this is a gross energy. When people were being fake nice to you, they saw themselves like, and I'm hearing this awful voice that's like, oh yeah, like I'm so nice and look at collective. Yeah, I'm just so nice. Like I'm hearing this like awful, horrible voice and energy kind of coming through. It's really icky. I don't know if the name Vicky resonates with you, but it's just like this ickiness to it that's so fake, so vapid, so impure. And then as their mask starts slipping, as the facade starts dropping, they get angry, collective, because they realize, like, they recognize their fakeness in the mirror of you, and it pisses them off because they're thinking, how can collective see me? How I'm so good. I'm a perfect actor. How can collective see? And it's like, you're not really seeing them, collective. They're just seeing themselves. Does that make sense? Because you are this ultimate mirror. You're this energy for other people that reveals their true intentions. And so as their mood fluctuates like a storm, they're just seeing it replay out in live time through your eyes, like through you as a vessel. And it's pissing them off because they can't hide from you, collective. I'm getting when they, like, if they, because they want to use you, they want to approach you and encroach on you, and but when they try and do it, they have to keep up this fake nice facade all the time, and it makes them angry because as soon as they start dropping it, they can see their awful evil nature just reflected back because you're so pure, you're so innocent. And I'm being told, the stress here, innocence has nothing to do with like sex or anything like that. Innocence is a state of the soul, it's a state of purity. And sex is a very pure act also. Like, yes, it can be used for different things, but the act of it is a divine act. So don't think just because you have slept with a lot of people or had a lot of partners, I'm not saying you have or haven't, that doesn't change your status of innocence. And that's something this collective also needs to understand, because you may have had instances in your past where you felt like you were tarnished like a mirror. You were tarnished like a mirror by some of your, I hope I could say it, your sexual experiences. That's not the case, collective. Um, yeah. Like, that's just, it's crazy. There are people that think like this. I hope you're not one of them, but I just know you've run into people who thought this way and shoved it down your throat at times. And yeah, that's just not the case at all. So anyway, you're this very innocent and pure collective, and people just cannot stand being around you. They can't stand that you're a good time, frankly, because as their mask starts wearing down and starts slipping, they see more and more of themselves in you. And they think it's you, and they recognize though that it's not you, because they can see how in real time your reactions, your interpretations of them are changing based on their actions. And they realize, collective, that you hold a high standard for your life. I'm getting you hold incredibly high standards, and you're so tough on yourself, you're so hard on yourself, but you're not realizing it's because you're mirroring back all these like unholy energies. And so you're coming down on yourself a lot, or at least you did in the past, thinking that it was you that was the problem. But I'm getting told to tell you, to hammer home the point, it's not you. You are not the problem. You're mirroring back these people's energies. Don't mistake it for your own, collective. I'm hearing specifically what is cast upon your face is not your expression, but is the reflection of the light of the world around you. So you have to remember, collective, that how I'm getting really emotional, like I'm almost tearing up as I'm channeling this, but like how your body even looks, it's not totally up to you. Like some of you may have had restrictive eating disorders. You may have trouble with eating as a kid, or, you know, even as an adult now. You may have been forced to eat certain foods, forced to have a certain diet of food or other things. And it's just really tragic, because I'm just getting this energy of like lost soul. Like you didn't have a way out. You didn't have a way to procure differently for yourself, or procure differently for yourself. You're often relying, I'm being told, on the kindness of strangers around you, because even your family was not always there for you, collective, for most of you, I'm getting. Yeah, and so I feel like some of you are really hard on your outward appearance because you feel it doesn't actually represent you. It doesn't feel like it's authentically you. Like you are sad, collective, because you don't necessarily look 100% the way you want to look. But I'm being told to tell you that is not your fault. and that you need to not take ownership of that anymore. And this message is filled with so much passion and so much insistence. I think Spirit has been wanting to tell at least some of you this for a long time. It's like, it's not your fault how you look. It's not your fault how you dress, how you act, how you decorate your home. It's like I'm hearing you learned from the rats that you lived with. And I'm just seeing a house full of rats. And this one person who's trying to keep this clean, neat house, but like these rats, they're eating everything up. They're eating the cheese from the fridge, and they're eating the clothes in the closet. They're eating the bed frame. They're eating the person's toes. Like, it's very graphic. They're just like, these people were like rats in your lives collective, and they just ate and ate and ate and took until you felt like there was nothing left. It was just like bone marrow left, right? So a lot of you have rebuilt yourself from scratch. And I'm seeing a very scratched mirror, right? Hearing from nickel. So like maybe some of you, you had like cheap jewelry or something. I don't know why nickel is being said here. Maybe it's the coin nickel. So like from a very low amount of money, you could have built yourself back up from. Like maybe you had to run away from home or left home. Yeah, just something about nickel seems important here. But okay, this is what it is. You perceived yourself as nickel, which is a cheaper metal than silver is, but you're silver collective. A lot of people use nickel to imitate what silver looks like because they can't afford real silver. So nickel is a cheap alternative. But I'm hearing that like nickel irritates people. And I'm seeing those like hypoallergenic earrings that are really popular and common now because so many people have nickel allergies. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, hopefully this resonates for you. But basically, I'm getting people felt allergic to your presence. Like people assumed you must be nickel sometimes because they were so irritated by you, collective, that they assume like put an earring in, they get an infection. They're like, it must be the earring. But it's really because like their hole wasn't clean, like that they put the earring through. Take that. I'm just gonna say take that how it resonates. I'm looking left and right. That phrasing was interesting that Spirit chose there. But yeah, so it's like people, after having an allergic reaction to you, quote unquote, because I think your pureness exposed something within them, they turned around and like spit on you and like, no, that can't be silver. That must be nickel because silver's healing and it wouldn't cause this issue. But I'm getting a lot of people don't realize, collective, that when you heal others, you cause breakouts. You cause irritations in other people, not because you're irritating them, but like you stir up the demons within them. And as someone like I work with demons. So for those of you who hear demons and think like, oh no, demons are scary and bad, I'm using demons in the like colloquial sense of like their shadow aspects, right? Because actual demons, that's a whole long story, but like you can demons are very helpful for working with your shadow aspects. They're not a like Satan, source of all evil, but I don't want to sidetrack your channeling here. But anyway, you stir up the demons in these people, like all their secrets and shadows that they shove down and buried, the things that are actually their own desires, their own tribulations, their own problems, their own angers and resentments. That's why people say they're demons. It's because it's their negative emotions. You stir all that up, collective, and it's almost like I see these pockets of mold or infestation in people, and like your pure silver like banishes that from them. It's like, okay, they come into contact with you, that can no longer exist in their body anymore. That can't be there anymore. It can't withstand your brilliant shining light. And it makes these people like hiss and get irritated like vampires and like back away because that infection and mold starts purging out from their body. And so sometimes there's this simultaneous, like they're being fake nice to you and you're just reflecting back what you see, and then they see the ugliness of their own actions, their own words, and it repels them from you, collective. Like this is your purpose, collective, is you are to be this great banishing mirror on a generation that is too afraid to look at themselves, in a generation that's so interested with reflecting the light of others that they never have to look too closely at themselves. Like you force people to see themselves. I'm seeing 1414 on my timer, which just kind of feels like it's hammering home this message. Kind of like, hey, first time not enough, I'll do it again. Like spins around, I'll do it again. That's kind of your energy, collective. Now, obviously this is after you have been through so many trials as a kid, as a teenager, as a child, as an adult, like all of these stages of your life, collective. You were beat down, told like, nah, you're not silver, nah, you're not gold, nah, you ain't you ain't nothing. And then they tell you like you're nickel or maybe even like you're pewter or something. But it turns out, collective, you're silver. You're the real deal. And that's what people are so mad about. So I think the reason Spirit is really wanting me to impress this message on you is so you realize like it's time now for you to rewrite these narratives because you never wrote these narratives in the first place. Does that make sense? The narratives you thought you wrote, this was the reflection of the world around you. And so you built up this story in your head where maybe you were like a bad kid. Maybe you were the difficult one, the problem child, the one who wouldn't eat anything, the one who wouldn't say the right things, the one who was too quiet, the one who's too loud. Like, collective, you got to go through and confront these shadow aspects that are buried within your own self because like you have sealed away some of your own little demons in you. Like you've sealed away things that weren't even belonging to you, but that you saw and reflected in others and then reflected in you, and you assume it's yours, but it's not. And it's time to let those go because you were never the difficult child. You were never the problem child. You were never the underachiever or the overachiever or the hyperfixated. Like there's just all these titles coming through. And I'm hearing, collective, that so many people tried to label you. And then this is making me almost cry, but no one tried to see you. Everyone saw what they wanted to within you because everyone was just seeing a version of themselves within you. And honestly, most of the time, an idealized version of themselves that wasn't even true, wasn't even pure, wasn't even real. And then that distortion would come out and become visible. And then they would get irritated because then they would see a darker version of themselves. And they assume that was your fault, but it's not. Okay. So that's going to be really, really important on your journey for you to understand, collective, is that you don't shine like others do. You shine differently. And your path is harder because not many people would choose to be willingly misunderstood for so long. Because it takes a lot of self-sacrifice and willingness to go with the flow, to walk the waters where you have treaded and also dreaded. Because collective, you spend a lot of your life, some of you may be in your 40s or 50s, even 60s now, and feeling like you missed out in the first half of your life. Maybe you're in your 30s and also feeling this way, but there's just this feeling of you being older and you missed out on doing fun stuff when you were younger. Like you spent so long worried what other people think, trying to make everyone around you happy, trying to reflect everything perfectly. But collective, you cannot reflect perfectly in an imperfect world. And Spirit really wants you to know this right now. The problem is not the reflection, it's the eye of the beholder. It's the eye of the receiver. The people receiving your message, the people receiving your light may not be in a capacity to understand it and to appreciate it. Some of these people, collective, are committed to misunderstanding you. And you need to understand how deeply this resentment runs in those people. If someone is committed to misunderstanding you, you will never do right in their eyes, collective. You will never do right in their eyes. And you have to give up. I'm getting big chills and tingles in my body as I say this. You have to give up on trying to be the perfect person in these people's eyes. Because collective, you'll never be. Because the fact is, you went through life as an imperfect person, reflecting all these things from other people, also working on your own stuff that you had going on. And some people saw versions of you, collective, that were rough. Some people saw you at critical transformation moments, moments that should have been private, moments that should have, give me 1 second. I need to take a quick drink of water here. All right, I paused it, had some coconut water. My throat chakra is feeling super open after I did a little castor oil pack on it last night, but it's also a little rough, so bear with me. But yeah, so I'm hearing that people saw sacred moments that should have been private and sacred, and they trampled all over them. They ran their mouths, they ran their judgment. Excuse me. They just had eyes for the prize, I'm hearing, and they wanted to know how what was happening to you could make them look better. It's really gross, and I hate to say it like that, but when you went through hard times, collective, people looked at that sometimes and they're like, how can I alchemize this for me? It's really gross, but it's this cannibalistic energy, right? Like they looked at you knowing you were a living person, living, breathing person, and they thought about what they could get out of you when you were dead, if you will, like a version of you was dead. And sometimes people liked you better alive. Sometimes people liked you better as this zombie version of your old self that like wasn't functioning, that was playing the role you used to play for them. I'm hearing there are people in your life that wanted you to keep playing a certain role because they liked the game. They liked the stimulus you provided them, and they didn't like seeing themselves too closely and too clearly, because collective, as you started shining more, you start cleaning up your scratches, started looking nicer. It starts to become more clear that you are reflecting the world around you, collective. You are not nickel, you are silver. in some cases like a gold and silver, you know? So you are this brilliant reflector. And now people have to own up for their actions. People have to admit, oh, shoot, I influenced collective to do XYZ. I influenced collective to do blah, blah, blah. I told collective this, I said that. And then they realize what was collective saying. And I literally hear like mic drop, like silence. What was collective saying? Collective was saying nothing because we didn't let collective speak. So, yeah, there's this feeling of people recognizing that even if you spoke collective, even if you felt you were kind of chatty, it wasn't always meaningful information you were sharing. You're often parroting back phrases other people taught you, things that you had seen and remembered. Maybe you're a collective that likes to quote lines from movies, dialogue, sound options. Maybe you like to vocal stim like that. Maybe you found collective that the voices of others helped you express feelings that you couldn't contain within yourself, but that you were not safe to express. Because I'm hearing collective, sometimes when you thought for yourself, people didn't like that. It made them really uncomfortable. But if you quoted a line from a movie or a song or an expression, people respected that more. It's like, it's this feeling of they wouldn't respect you collective. You could quote other people and they'd respect them, but they wouldn't respect you because it's you. It's like they don't like you being a source of brilliance. I hate to say that, but that's the energy that's coming through. It really irritates some of these people who've been in your life. um I'm seeing some personal confirmation numbers for myself right now. So this is going to be hitting very deeply for some people in this collective. I don't know if it'll be everyone, but definitely some people. This is going to be a very personalized message for them. um yeah, people like when you're a doormat. People like when you're a mirror that they can just walk all over. But that's not your thing, collective. Not anymore. You are hanging on the wall. You are being brushed and polished. You are beautiful and you are shining. And it's making some people uncomfortable now that it's happening. Some people I'm hearing are for it. There are some people who actually like this version of you better. You need to cling to those versions. Collective, you need to go back in your memories and find the people who supported you through all your transformations. Find the people who changed for you, who changed with you, because there are people, collective, I promise you, that were by your side at certain critical moments through your glow ups, through your journeys, through your trials, through tribulations. There was always someone. You may not recognize when an angel is incarnated and near you or next to you, collective. And I'm seeing 2222. You may not always recognize when there are angels around you, but spirits, even besides angels, other spirits do this too. Angels, in particular for this collective, take a human form. And sometimes there's going to be a person at a job. I'm getting there's people at jobs sometimes, or like I'm hearing waitressing for some of you, or hostess staff, like these inconspicuous people you wouldn't think to look twice at, or that you weren't like really good friends with, but you had like a cordial relationship. It's like they're these little minor characters in your life, if you will, and they were always there for you. Like you didn't see these people, but they did things like blocking the wrong people to get to you. Like I'm hearing specifically that there were some men that were like blocked for some of you. So like in the context of people that wanted to get with you schmexually or romantically or sadistically. There are people that wanted to use your energy, collective. And my audience right now is currently about a 50-50 split for men and women. So take it how it resonates. It could be like a woman too. Specifically what's coming through a lot for this collective right now is there are masculine energies that wanted to use you in some way, regardless of your gender. And they were blocked. Like spirit sent in people. It was like, haha, no, you're actually going to be seated at the table down the hall, far away from collective. It was things like that. Or like people tried to get access to you in really weird, strange ways. Like they wanted the table next to you, the room next to you, the car next to you. Like people try to position themselves in your life, collective, to catch droplets of your sunlight, I'm hearing, and to insert themselves in and take what they could. And spirit be constantly sending people and saying no and turning those people away. And you know what? This is reminding me, I think at the very beginning of this channeling, I was seeing 444 super strong. So this was just extra confirmation of that. Because yeah, spirit knows you have a big mission, collective. Like you had to go through what you went through, and now that you're through it, now you can start reaping the rewards, reaping the benefit of all of what you went through, because you didn't go through it for nothing, right? You went through it for a purpose, and you might as well alchemize that purpose into something that's helpful now, right? That's why spirit's really wanting you to rewrite the story of all these things that happened to you. I am getting this as a collective that has book authors, writers and readers, magazine editors, channelers. A lot of you work with the written and spoken word. So language is super important to you. It's very important to you. And you need to lean into your understanding of language because you're a collective that moves hearts through their words. I'm getting people read your writing and they're moved by it. People's lives change just reading what you've written, sometimes just hearing what you've spoken. Your vibrational frequency has this profound impact, this profound effect on people. I'm even hearing you can digitally type something. It can be that impactful because the frequency that you imbue into your words, it's like subatomic. It goes below what the naked eye can perceive and people experience it collective. That's also what's so addicting about your energy is that people experience it and can't get enough of it because your energy is like no other. People might describe your energy like if you were an ice cream, you know, people are used to seeing chocolates or vanillas, maybe a strawberry, maybe a rocky road, but you're like a pistachio. You're this out there energy that is not like it doesn't exist anywhere else in some way, shape, or form, but it's definitely an energy that you have to seek really hard to find. Um, excuse me, or you stumble across it not knowing what it is, try it, and you're like, wow, there's nothing like this. Even if I'm hearing, even if people don't know right away if they like your energy or not, you're so unforgettable that people just have to stick around and find out. Because people, whether they like you or love you or hate you or despise you, like you're unforgettable. So people really just be wanting to experience you. Um, yeah. So your job now is to go back, rewrite mission of your story, your narrative, your life memo, if you will. Rewrite it so you're the hero. I'm hearing people need to be put in their place. So many people try to write your life for you, collective. Some of you may literally be working on biographies or autobiographies. You may be getting a call to share your story more publicly. And you may have been getting blocked because as you try and share it, you're so scared what other people will think because all these other people had different understandings of what happened, have different perspectives of you. Like you're worried people will read your words and go, nah, that didn't really happen to collective. Like, nah, no way. I don't believe that because this person, collective, I would lean closer to my mic, but it would like blast this little tiny mic to pieces. I'm just going to say this very firmly, collective. There are not enough people in this world able to stop you from your greatness other than yourself. There are so few people who would be able to know enough firsthand information that could contradict your story. And also, they are so small, they're minuscule in the scale of existence compared to you. It's like if you wrote a book and published it and you're afraid of like what 5 people would say, but collective 1 million people are going to read your book. Okay, they should have written a book if they wanted their story to be told. Oh, but guess what? They don't have a story to be told. You know why, collective? Because it happened to you. I'm literally shaking my hand. It happened to you. So many other people tried to say what happened to you, but they weren't you, collective. You're the only person who's qualified to write your story. I'm getting some people may say it's fake, it's made up, it didn't really happen that way. Oh, she couldn't have done that. He couldn't have said this. She couldn't have done that. He couldn't have whatever. It doesn't matter, collective. If they're so mad about it, if they're so butthurt, they should go write their own story. What Spirit's saying. And you're stopping yourself from greatness. And I want to shake you because there's so much you have that needs to be said. And you're not saying it simply because you're afraid of what a few tiny effing pipsqueaks of people could say. But collective, they could never say anything to amount to even half of the credibility that you have and the amount of stories and wisdom you've gained from your journey. It's like if it's the man who invented Braille. I don't know if it was a man or woman, but it's like the human who invented Braille. Let's say they invent Braille, this wonderful system, so great, but then they never published the Braille because they were afraid someone would critique the structure of their system, right? Doesn't that sound silly? Because it would help so many people who can't see. I'm literally hearing, collective, your vision is going to give sight to others who can't see. And I'm getting super emotional saying that. There's something you see, collective, that is in a way that no one else sees it. And there's 1 million people in this world that are just like you who also can't see. And they're fumbling around in this darkness because they don't think anyone sees like they do. They don't think anyone has the gifts or powers they do. They don't think anyone has been through what they've been through. And collective, there's so much shame because you each are serving your own collectives. Like I talk about the flower of life being the metaphor that spirit's given me for all these collectives I channel for, but like we all have these overlapping collectives that we're serving at different points in times and for different purposes. And the people that you're going to read for, quote unquote, or that you're going to write for, you're going to channel for and speak for, those people can't see. And so the things that I'm hearing you're being so critical of yourself by judging like how you see, because it's not the way these other people see, but like collective, those other people you think who see, quote unquote, they're not even going to be reading your story because they already feel like they know it. Like they're not going to take the time to read it. I'm being told that people often buy books just to keep on their shelf. People buy books because they look pretty, because they like what the idea represents, because they want to support the author, because they want to get to it someday, because it's inspirational. Like I'm literally hearing there are people, collective, who will never read your book. They'll never read your writings, but they will own a copy of everything that you produce because they aspire to be that energy. And for them, they don't even need to read it. Just the aspirational frequency of being in its presence is life-changing. That's how powerful your words are. And again, I'm getting emotional again. There's so much, like, I want to like cry. There's so much emotion in this collective and in this message for you because you just need a hype person. That's what I'm hearing, is you really need someone to hype you up. You have had so many people tearing you down, collective. You don't know what it really truly feels like to be hyped up. You're used to people giving up on you after a certain number of times, like once or twice, and people give up on you. But I'm not going to give up on you, collective. Spirit is not giving up on you. Like we're all here for you. Even the people that are here in the comments, the people that are watching, they're liking the content, or the people that don't engage with it at all, but they come back every single time to watch a new video when it drops. Like you're all community. You're all in this together. We're all in this together. It's part of the reason I love comments is like you can find other people who are going through similar things and be like, oh my gosh, they get it. Yeah, I'm not alone. Because the way I translate these unseen energies to make them more tangible and make them more solid for you and less ephemeral, less ethereal, and more real, it's something that no one's ever really done for you like this before, collective. And I don't see that arrogantly as like no one can channel like I do, because that's not true. It's just that I'm getting that there's something about the tone of my messages that's really refreshing for those of you who are listening to this. There's something really different and unique about my energy that speaks to you in a way that other channelers don't quite match the same. Everyone has their own voice. Everyone has their own frequency and experiences, because when you hear my voice, you are hearing the collective summation of experiences that I have lived through. You don't know all of what I've been through, but my frequency actually carries the memory of that. This is why voice is so powerful. You know how when you hear some people speak, you can tell that they were loved, like as a kid, or you can tell that they were hated as a kid. You can tell they were bullied as a kid, or even you can tell they're loved as an adult. You can see certain things in people's faces. You can hear certain things in their voices, right? So the reason that some of my messaging is really impactful for you is because you're a very dualistic personalities of collective. Excuse me, one second. Excuse me, more burps. You're a collective that has all these different overlapping personalities. And I don't mean in a schizophrenic way or something like that. It's just you've had to adapt to so many different ways of being collective that you're tired of not being original. You're tired of feeling literally like a copycat because you've just been mirroring back what everyone told you to mirror back, because you got beaten down, shut up, punched on, beaten on, like you had all these things happen to you. And so you just learned the best way to make that go away is just to shut up. It's just to shut up. And collective, you've been shut up for so long. I'm getting it's really worn on your soul because you don't know you have a voice anymore. You're so tired. I'm seeing some of you just trudging along this same beaten down path. You're not earning a lot of money. You're not getting a lot of wealth, like accumulation. Like it's just, you're feeling really low about certain things in your life, at least for some of you. And I'm just here to tell you that your life is not always going to be this way, because you may have a millionaire blueprint. Okay. Millionaires' lives look different. A lot of people who become very wealthy, they have tremendously tragic lives. And it's that push. It's like a slingshot effect of like you push something down underwater. You know, when you push like an air-filled ball underwater, and the more you push, the harder it is, even with all your weight, and then you let it go and it like buoys like all the way up out. It's like whoosh, and it comes out of the water super fast and high up. That's kind of like what's been happening to you, collective. Okay. Um, you've been dragged out into the deep end, pushed down super far, and now you're springing up out of it. You're getting whiplash right now because your environment is changing so fast. Your frequency is up leveling so fast. I'm getting some of you literally have frequency upgrades every time that I drop a channeling because something new clicks for you, something validates you, something changes in the way you perceive the world. Because what this is doing for you is allowing you to witness yourself in a way very few people have allowed you to do before. Because I'm not here tearing you down. I'm not here telling you how you're crazy and your gifts don't work and you don't have talent, all this. No, I am literally here as your hype friend. I am here to tell you all the things that you should have been getting told all along, but people would just be jealous. Okay, people be jealous, envious, angry, bitter, resentful because you have what they don't, collective. Some of you are, yes, just built different, but a lot of you also made very intentional choices. You could have chosen to become very different people, but you chose not to. You chose to become exactly this version of yourself, collective. You risked a lot and you came here, you incarnated, you had these terrible, tumultuous experiences because you had hope in yourself that you would still be able to find kindness and compassion. And now that you are the silver collective, you are glowing and like kind of goldeny even and reflecting things back at the world. You're seeing you were never the problem, but you were designed to be a problem. Does that make sense? But you in isolation are not a problem. So if you in isolation are not a problem, and yet when other people come in contact with you, some of them are problems and some aren't, that tells you the variable's isolated right there, right? It's the identity of the other person. I'm getting the quality of your experiences is determined by who is around you. And that can be applied to a lot of people. So you need to take note of who is around you, collective, and be extremely discerning at this time. No one is allowed to be around you unless they are building you up, because collective, all you do is build others up. You are only ever kind. Even when you show people what they really look like, we go, collective, I'm being told to tell you this, we go to a mirror to look for imperfections in ourselves, okay? People who actually value a mirror, they would hate a mirror if the mirror lied and said, oh yeah, you look great today, Becky. I don't know why that's coming through, but it's like, yeah, Becky, go on, like wear your thing, you look so good. And then the person goes out and everyone's like, you have broccoli in your teeth, your hair ain't done, your jeans don't fit right, that shirt not go with those pants. What is going on here, right? So while we do sometimes judge ourselves in the mirror, the purpose, collective, of your reflecting what people look like is so that they can grow an appreciation for themselves. Because in the same token, we can look at ourselves and find our imperfections, but we can also see, oh my gosh, I've lost weight like I wanted to, or my muscles are developing beautifully. My hair is so thick and luscious. My eyes are glowing and ethereal. My skin is perfect. Like, collective, you provide an opportunity for people to have whatever kind of experience they want. I'm literally hearing you can choose what kind of day you have. It can be a good day or a bad day, but I'm here all day, which is really funny. So yeah, I'm hearing you've done a lot for other people, and it's not even because you've done a lot. It's like you specifically, almost by not doing a lot, does a lot for other people. Does that make sense? Like, you're not going to play games. You're past that. Like, you're done pandering to people. You're just going to show it like it is now. You're starting to gain a lot of confidence and just not give an F what people think about you, because why would you be caring what other people think of you? Like, you're doing your own internal work. You're not needing this criticism, this judgment, right? Like, they can think whatever they want in their own time, right? They can get their own social media platform on their own time. They can write their own book on their own time. It's kind of like you're realizing and recognizing that the people who judge you the most for your success, your accomplishments, your triumphs, all these things, the people who judge it and criticize it, they're the people who have nothing. Notice that millionaires do not give two shakes of a lamb's tail what you're doing with your life, right? Because they're busy being successful and enjoying their lives. They're actually not that judgmental. A lot of them. However, the people who are earning not a lot of money, like, 50,000 a year, 30,000 a year, those people seem to have all of these critical judgments and thinkings. And that collective is because they're so judgmental and critical of themselves. So always remember this. This is advice I think you've heard before, but always remember, if someone's going to judge you, take a look at their life before you decide to let that judgment actually impact you. I'm getting that a lot of you are being judged by people whose lifestyle, and I'm like crossing my hands in front of me, shaking them back and forth, like, no, you don't even want that. Okay. It's like the person with a terrible marriage who gives you relationship advice, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, you're judging my relationship, but I want a relationship that looks nothing like yours. So your advice that you're giving me, assuming you follow it for yourself, has produced that in your life. So I don't want it. Thanks. I'm good. I'm good from here on out. Don't need that. Um, it's the same. So it's the same energy you got to take into, I'm hearing, transactions and like interactions with other people. When people are critical of you, just remember, unless it is their job to literally be a critic, um, if their advice is not actionable, like giving you something like, oh, if you used commas more, I think that would help me understand the sentence structure better. Sometimes it feels like the thoughts are like a bit rambly, a bit, run on. That's actually helpful feedback, but your idea is really niche and stupid. I don't think that's ever going to sell. That's not feedback. That's them trying to enforce a limiting belief on you, because guess what? The idea of your success makes them deeply uncomfortable, collective. I'm hearing there are people who would like to stomp you under their feet. And this is imagery that often comes through for the Silver Collective. But it frustrates them to no end that you could be successful by giving minimum effort. Minimum effort. I'm so deadly serious when I say you're a collective that is meant to succeed through minimum effort, because you're a mirror, and a mirror does jack all. It hangs on the wall, and then everyone praises the mirror for just doing its thing. I'm hearing like you'll make income just by existing, right? If you've heard that whole get paid to exist, your existence earns value. That's your vibe, collective. Okay. And I'm seeing 111 on my timer as I'm saying that. So you need to get with the program, collective. Okay. You need to understand your blueprint, your frequency is different than other people. So be careful. I mean, even taking advice from me, but taking advice from anyone should always be taken with a grain of salt at this time. I have a lot of love for you. I have a lot of genuine interest in your well-being and your well-doing. I don't know if everyone around you is necessarily like that. I hope there are people like that around you, maybe one or two or three, maybe more if you're really lucky, if you're really fortunate. But a lot of you, collective, are just going to have to tune out people who say it's not possible. Because if they tell you it's not possible to be a millionaire and they're like making $50,000 a year or something, yeah, it seems like by their actions, it is impossible for them to be a millionaire. But if you go to a millionaire collective and say, is it possible for me to become a millionaire? That millionaire will tell you yes, because that millionaire these days, millionaires are made all the time. $1 million actually isn't even that much money anymore. But there's all sorts of ways you can become a millionaire, collective. We're literally living in the age of digital transmission, digital alchemy, selling downloadables, selling books, things like that. We have a greater accessibility to creativity than ever before. The bar is so low to self-publish, to publish anything and sell it to people. You could make a high value item, collective, for and charge $5 for it and sell a ton of it. You could sell it for 10, 15, $20 and even make more. Okay. Like, I personally don't mind paying someone $20 for a guidebook on something that's going to make my life better. You know what? You want to know why? Because it's custom to my situation, right? Like, if I'm interested in it, it's probably because it's super unique, custom to my situation. I can't find anything like it online. I like the creator's vibe. I feel personally very deeply that when you participate in an energy exchange with someone, whether that's buying their product, whether that's engaging with their content, that's, on some level, you're agreeing to share a frequency with them. You're agreeing to share a space with them. That's why if I really dislike a video, I don't even comment on it. I don't hit the dislike. I don't engage. If I like a content, if I like a creator, I engage with it because I like want to be sharing that frequency of energy. I'm seeing 333, which is all about community building and friends. So like, take note that the things you interact with in your life, collective, that's going to be shaping your energy field. You are whatever you spend. What is like the top 5 things you spend the most time with, whether it's people, things make money, like whatever it is, that's what really defines you. So you're a collective that needs to be very careful because you're a mirror. So whatever you're spending the most of your time with, that's what is going to be defining your energy. Start taking a very serious look at who is around you. Start taking a deeply serious look at the space around you, your living situation, like your physical items, your clothes, everything. You need to be so serious. Take a look at your relationship with food, okay? It's this deep. We're going down this far. but it's also that basic. Um, you are the sum result of everything you take into your body and everything you surround yourself with. I say that as someone who, by all means, has things I can be improving in my own life. I'm always I'm in the business of improving myself always. But yeah, and I don't mean to say improving myself always like it's this tiresome task that'll never end. It's just whenever I notice things that I can improve, I just make my little bits of progress. Seeing 444 on the timer. So, but yeah, collective, you've got good things coming in, but right now you need to be rewriting your past. You need to be revisiting your past, digging up old skeletons and healing them. Either lay them to rest. I'm hearing literally crush their bones and turn them into something else. Like you got to rewrite it. Because I'm hearing for some of you right now very strongly, you've written a narrative in your head that's holding you down. It's holding you back. You can't be obligated at this time, collective, to anyone else's energy but your own. You're a grown man, you're a grown woman. You can't be playing like this. Yeah, Spirit's not putting you here to mirror back all the unhealed wounding in this world anymore. It's now time for you to incorporate these lessons you've learned and alchemize them, do something better with them. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, I think, unless there's anything else that wants to come through. I am hearing the word grandmother. Maybe that's relative for some, relevant for some of you. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, I just saw 555 on the timer, which I always associate with great change. So, for those of you who have stuck around till this point, there's a lot of change coming into your life. Probably whether you stick around or not, but definitely if you waited this long, you got a big amount of change coming into your life, and I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for you. I know you're gonna level up. I know you're gonna do amazing, and we're all gonna do amazing things together. So, okay. Until next time, I will see you then. Bye.